Self-love to me is about being able to give yourself grace. I think it's a very really important to be able to accept your flaws and the character traits that you like about yourself together, because I think that is where you can find a really nice sweet spot where you accept who you are, but you're also willing to grow and receive guidance. I think it's really important that if someone that you love and you care for is telling you some things that could be better and giving you advice, that you're open and accepting to that advice, but that you're also willing to kind of set them boundaries and be like, well, I actually disagree, because sometimes guidance can come from a loving place but still not align with your values and how you view yourself. So I think it's very important to be able to have a really firm foundation where you are comfortable in who you are and you accept your flaws, but you're also still willing to grow, you're also still willing to develop yourself, but you're not you're not diminishing who you are and diminishing your self-worth. You're accepting of yourself and really happy with who you are. I think that's what self-love is. A defining moment that I've had in my life was when I went on a summer trip in my year 11 summer. I had extra time because I just finished my exams, so I had a really big time of being off, and in that time I didn't obviously get to see my friends as much as I would have if I'd been going to school. And then me and my friend, we went on a trip together and I met a bunch of new people, and I was made some really nice friends there. And at one point I told one of my friends, I was like, oh yeah, I'm not really that confident. And then he was like, that is not the case, you're very confident. And all my other friends were like, yeah, you are very confident. You came in, you greeted all of us, you were the first person that we started talking to, you're extremely confident. And that was a really big moment for me, because I had to sit down and be look at how my personal beliefs had changed my mindset, and how other people who I didn't really hadn't even known that long kind of affirmed who I was. And then looking back at it now, it was very kind of almost delusional for me to think I wasn't confident, because especially not talking to people for a long time, I was really excited to talk to new people, and it was a really fun thing for me. And I've always been quite a confident person, but at that time for some reason I believed I wasn't. So I think it just showed me the power of your thoughts, and how your thoughts can be so contradictory to what's actually happening. And it was a really important moment for me, because it just meant that I actually watched what I was thinking about myself, I was watching what I was saying about myself, and it made me question some of the other beliefs I had about myself, and maybe thinking, oh well, that's not true either, and oh, this one is true. So that was a really important experience for me. And then my advice for my 8-year-old self, I would say just continue enjoying the moment. I was blessed enough to have a really nice childhood, I would say. When I was 8, when I look back at that time, I only see really fun experiences. I always had a great time with friends and family, so I'm really thankful for that. And I think at that time actually I was actually more blessed to actually not be able to see the world as clearly. I think when you're younger, you don't always see everything that's happening. And I guess I'd maybe give advice to myself a bit older, maybe when I was 12 or 13, because I think that was when I first started seeing the world differently, and I wasn't just focusing on myself. Now you become aware of what other people are doing as well. And I think that time was a weird time for me, because you're trying to define who you are a bit more. And I think I'd give advice to myself at that age, just to kind of relax a little bit, and to kind of not deeply focus on what's outside, going on outside. For me now, still sometimes it's something that I kind of struggle with, because I'm a very observant person. I like watching people do things, and sometimes I have to purposely shift my focus away from what other people are doing, because it can affect me sometimes. So I think definitely at that age, just you don't always have to just stay within yourself. I think make sure to always focus on yourself, and always be mindful. Mindfulness is very, very, very important, focusing on the present moment. And I think at that time, when I was 12 or 13, that was when I kind of started to get less mindful, started to think about other things that I didn't when I was 8. So I think that would be my advice to my 12-year-old self, is to stay very mindful. So